All right. So definition of hierarchical inheritance is when there are three generations of classes, three or more, we can say three or more generations of classes involved in an inheritance. That means grandfather to father, father to child, and then maybe child to grandchild and so on. That's fine, but at least grandfather to father, father to child, this kind of relation, three generations of the inheritance available in a hierarchy. That's why it is called hierarchical inheritance. This is also called multi-level inheritance. Multi-level or hierarchical inheritance. That means A to B, B to C. If this is A class, A will be inherited to B class, and B will be inherited to C class. This is just, we can say, symbolic representation without writing much coding. A to B and B to C. How to do this? That means ultimately rules and regulations same only. Previously we are creating object of B class if it is two generation only. This is called simple inheritance. Now if one more generation came, then this C became the bottommost child class. So if I will create object of bottommost child class, I can call this function as well as this function. If I will create the object of B class, I can call A function as well as B function. Okay, so let's do that. That means we have already accountant in place, manager in place, and manager has got inherited from accountant. Now we will go for one more hierarchy that is something like general manager. So general manager will get inherited from sales manager, and sales manager already got inherited from accountant. So that is the way. So this is your accountant. Accountant is the topmost parent class. Below that sales manager, and sales manager is inherited to general manager. So let's create some data and member functions here, and then call the functions through object of general manager. So here I will go for something like let's say sales, I will say decimal, sales tax, and I will say something like, okay, here what I will do, I will have something already quantity of the sale and price of the sale. Okay, suppose 5 piece, each piece is 100 rupees, but here general manager is saying, okay, you are keeping the track of price and quantity, that's fine, but for whole company, what is the tax going only for sales, that I will keep, and related to that some functionality also I will keep. So here I will go for some public general manager, and inside this constructor I will say sales tax equal to, let's say, 666, and here I will say only one variable we have, so only one line I wrote, and here I wrote public void. If I will have public, then obviously it can be called by object in outside class when I create the object of general manager. So public void, I will say display sales tax. So inside display sales tax, I will write console.writeLine total sales tax is here I will give sales tax. So what coding, what functionality we are writing, that's not a big deal, but here idea is whether object of general manager can call any public member of his class, his parent and his grandparent. Okay, that is the things to be checked here. And also we have to check if a protected member is there, then can it be also called by grandfather, grandchild. Okay, so first case is if I will have a public member in the child class as well as public member in the parent class and public member in the grandparent class, what is the activity? So activity is come to this, create the object of general manager and all public members will be easily called. So should I say general manager obj gmgr, something like that, equal to new general manager, and obj g manager dot, can you see all three class functions are able to access. Okay, so first I will go for display profit, which is extremely grandparent class function. Then I will go for display sales amount, which is parent class functionality. Then I will go for his own class functionality called display sales tax. This is what I was trying about. So if you have 10 different classes also, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, like that in a big hierarchy, then go to 10th class object. It can easily access all public members of whole hierarchy, all the classes. Public member. Okay, private is private. Private cannot be accessed, but public member can be accessed with the help of child class, extremely bottommost child class. So no new rules and regulation. Only thing is there one parent to child relationship, here grandparent to father, father to child, child to grandchild, like that various relationship. Otherwise rules and regulations everything same. Now what I will do, I will put a protected member here in the extremely topmost parent class, and because there are three things as of now: private, public, protected. So private, no access, not directly, not indirectly, not by object, nothing. Public, accessible by object, but conditions apply. You know, if it is public, then not necessary to inherit. Any class can access, but if you have object of grandchild or child class, extremely bottommost. Now think about protected. So I have already a protected member in the topmost parent class called organization name. Let's put one protected member in the middle class, that means sales manager. Should I do that? So I want to do something like here I will say string, okay, I will say address, I mean address of the company. Okay, so here I will say protected, or I will name it as company address. So let's see how it behaves. I have one protected member here in the middle class, and I have one protected member in the extremely topmost class. So let me try to use this see, once you think about protected, then what is the protected definition says? It can be directly used in the same class and child class, no need to create object, and outside the family means what to understand? Neighbor class, okay, which is not at all inherited from any class. So outside the family, or we say it as neighbor class, there it will behave like private. That means here I cannot use directly or indirectly, that is for sure, if it is a protected member. But let's think inside the family, how it is behaving. Okay, so I copied organization and I'm trying to use it here. I want to modify something, let's say XYZ Limited, and here I want to modify even this one, company address, to there you have written ABCD, here I will write EFGH. So just have a look what you understood by this. Not only just parent protected member, but also grandparent protected members. In an entire hierarchy, any class is having a protected member, you can make use of it, that too without creating any object. You can feel it as if it is here only. So you have full chance to make use of it. So now you understood two things here. Nothing new. What you have understood in simple inheritance, similar only, but one more label or two more label you can add and no change. So note. If a member means you can say data or you can say function also, is protected, it can be used directly by any of its bottom hierarchy. What do you mean? Where it is present, its bottom hierarchy. Imagine I had the variable here. Understand this point. Second class is sales manager. First class was accountant. Third class is general manager. So in second class, I have this protected member. That means second class or its bottom. Or its bottom means what you understood? Sales manager as well as general manager. In both the classes that can be directly used. Where it cannot be used then? In accountant. Because accountant become parent, right? So parent can be used in child, but child cannot be used in parent. That is applicable in our simple inheritance also. No need to mention, right? So if a member is protected, it can be used directly. Directly means without any object. By any of its bottom hierarchy. Bottom hierarchy means if it is B, then by C, by D, by E, by F, anything bottom to that. But top to that, no. They are all, parent, grandparent, etc. They cannot use it. About protected. What about public? If a member is public. I mean, same thing we are repeating. What we have understood in simple inheritance. But okay, this is applicable for all 3 or 4 hierarchy. So if a member is public, by the way, okay, in any class of the hierarchy, then it can be used anywhere in whole program. When I say anywhere in the whole program, can be outside the hierarchy also. That means neighbor class also possible. So anywhere in the program with the help of object. So public members should be accessed by help of the object. Now which object? Which object? Help of extremely bottommost class object. Why I will say that? Because suppose you are creating second class object, not the third class object, second class object, then only second class and first class public member can be accessed. But I cannot say any class member, right? So if I am saying any class member, any class public member, means I have to make sure that I am creating the object of extremely bottommost class. So both scenario we saw, I am able to use protected member inside the hierarchy, and I am able to use public members even outside the hierarchy, and no restriction, because public means public. Outside also we can make use of it, but conditions apply is you have to create the object. Now which class object I have to create? Question mark. You have to ask yourself, do I need to call all the members? A, B, C, D, all classes? Then D class object you create. Suppose your requirement is no. You have to call the function of A class and B class only, not C, D, E, F. Then create the object of B class. As simple as that. Okay. So which class object you are creating? That class above whichever class is there. Above means parent, grandparent, and so on. So those can easily called if it is a public member. So I'll put a breakpoint here. Now I will go for a debugging to understand first where it goes, then where it goes in a hierarchical inheritance. So F11, first it will go to its own class constructor. Again F11, it will come to its upper level constructor. Again F11, it will come to topmost constructor. Now whether you do F11 or whether you do F10, it will take you to line number 14, line number 15, line number 16, and so on. That means initialization happens from grandparent, then child. But calling happens first grandchild, then father, then grandfather, and so on. So have a look, it came to second class and then initialized. Then it came to third class and then initialized. Then came back to our object creation line. That means now obj manager will have all of them, all three class members. That's why if I am calling second class, first class, or third class, whichever I want to call, easily I can call and show the result. Alright, so nothing special, just one more level of hierarchy, you can say. Rules and regulations same like simple inheritance. But yeah, minimum 3 generation means it may be 3 or more generations, but the rule is, as we have understood, always you have to create the object of child class if you want to get access to all of them. Here also possible, same rule, only thing is bottommost child class you have to create the object. One more small concept is there in hierarchical inheritance itself. Sometimes, most of times I will say, people ask in interview. Let me tell you that. There is something called constructor chaining. Already you have understood that up to certain extent, but I have to keep in place what is that. Guys, when I created the object in line number 10, you might have seen first it went to extremely bottommost child class constructor. Okay, so first third class constructor, then second class constructor, and then third class, third, second, and then first class constructor. That we saw already. Initialization happens in reverse order, first, then second, then third. But calling happens first, third, then second, then first. That you have already marked it. Now on top of this, little bit extra knowledge you have to have. What is that? Suppose somebody says, I don't have simple constructors. I have suppose parameterized constructor. Somebody says, I don't want to hard code this 666, this 20, this 100, this ABCD. I don't want to hard code. I want to pass it from main. We know both, right? Parameterized constructor helps us to pass this data from main. That means here 3 data I need, here 2 data I need, or maybe 3 plus 3 6, and here 1 data I need, total 7 data, right? Can I create one object in line number 10 and I pass all 10 data? 3 plus 3 plus 1, 7, right? All 7 data can I pass here, just like this. Whatever data, ABC Limited, 25, 32, all 7 data can I pass here? That is the question mark. Answer is constructor chaining. Okay, so question is, can I pass all 7 data required in all 3 classes from main at a time while creating class 3 object? This is a question mark. Can I pass all 7 data required for all 3 classes from main through object of class 3? Because if somebody will say I will create 3 object, then no problem at all. Already in encapsulation we have seen how can I pass third class variable through third class object constructor and second class variable through second class object constructor, and so on. That we know already. Every class object can send the parameter to its own class constructor. But now question mark is, I am not creating 3 object now. A to B, B to C already inheritance is there, means C class object I am creating. So by creating C class object or third class object, can I pass all of them? First data, second data as well as third data? Answer is yes. And how? Through constructor chaining. So answer is yes, we can do by using constructor chaining. That means in interview they may ask just like this indirectly, or they may directly say that explain constructor chaining. Okay, answer for both is same. So how to do that? That means I have to pass all 7 data from here. So I will not use this 666, rather I will use a parameter here called decimal, something like cell stacks. I will say ST or stacks, and this stacks I want to give here something like that. I want this one is having 20, 100 ABCD. These things I want to collect it from main. I don't want to give the direct data, because if I will create 2 objects tomorrow or 3 objects tomorrow, then same data only will be initialized. But if I will use parameterized constructor, then I can collect it from main also. So what is the right way to do that? Now coming to the solution. Currently we were discussing about the problem. Okay, if this is the problem part, how to, is there possibility to solve? I said yes, possible. Now let's go to how to make it possible. That means here if I will pass everything, just like what is the name of organization, what is the sales tax amount, what is the quantity of sales, what is the price of sales, everything I want to pass here. What is the way to do that? That you have to see. So now the way is, if you have 7 data, you go for all 7 data here itself. Where? In the extremely bottommost child class constructor, because first it will come to this, right? So what I will do, I will have a sales tax, because its own is sales tax. Not only that, I will have these 3 guys also there. So quantity of sales, price and company address. So quantity of sales is integer, then decimal, then string. So integer, quantity of sales, decimal, price of sale, string, organization address. Now go to the extremely top, first class. We have three more: total income, tax, simply tax, and the organization name. Why organization name I have taken two times? Acha, this is company address, that is company name. All right. So decimal, decimal and string. So total income, tax and organization name. So come down, decimal, I will say INC, income, decimal, tax, decimal, string, O name. This is organization address, this is organization name. So all 7 data I mentioned as per their data type. You can have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H also, but not a good idea. Better to give, meaningful names like this. Income, I can say income also. Okay, so you use all 7 of them, but you consume only first one here. Rest 6 things you pass it to just above class. How to pass it to just above class? Here you have to write colon base. One new thing we are learning, base. Okay, base keyword. So in base keyword, put open bracket, close bracket, and except that one thing what we need here, out of 7, one thing you need here, other 6 things you want to pass to the previous class, right? So just go on copying those variables there. Quantity, price, organization address. It will show some error, but I will tell you how to fix it. Organization address, income, then tax. This time no need to give data types. You have already collected the data, you are just passing it to the previous class. Now why this error, it is saying there is no constructor in the second class which is consuming 5 parameters. So what I will do, I will take these 5 parameters and put it here, and their respective data type also. Quantity is integer, price is decimal, and organization address is string. Income is your decimal, tax is decimal, and it is string. So decimal and decimal and string. Make sense? Now here what I will do, I consumed 6 values, but I need only 3 here. So those 3 I will pass on here instead of hard coded data. And other things, acha, here same spelling, can you see? It is saying both are same spelling. So green color underline. 2 ways, either you make it P and give it P, that's green color underline will go, or you can do one thing. If you don't want to change the spelling, then left side you use this operator. This operator indicates current object, current class. This means here, right? So this means current one, this one. So this one indicates this operator, and local variable will be simply like that. So this is a local variable whose accessibility is only between line number 38 and line number 42. But price is class variable. So class variable will be mentioned with this operator. That is also absolutely fine. So it's a new thing, that's why let me keep it with this variable. Okay, this operator indicates class variable and simply indicates local variable only if both spelling are same. If both spelling are different, then it will not show error, so no need to bother. Now that means three things I consumed here. Two things I have to pass it to its child, its parent class. So help me, what should I do now? Colon, again base, again inside the bracket I have to pass income, comma, tax, comma, organization name. Okay, that means this guy is passing to his parent, this guy was passing to his parent. That means grandchild is passing to father, father is passing to grandfather, something like that. Here why error? Because there is no constructor in topmost parent class who is consuming three parameter. So I have to go here and make it 3 parameterized constructor instead of single parameterized, zero parameterized. So here should I say decimal total income, similarly decimal total tax, and string organization name. Instead of hard coding to 999, should I say income? Similarly, this one will go and sit in this tax, and this one will go and sit inside this. Okay. Here also showing some error. Can you see both of them? Why? Because same spelling, na? It will confuse that which is my local variable tax, which is my class variable tax. So either you go for this operator left side or you make a spelling change. Suppose I will make it as T for tax, O for organization name. It's fine. You can give here simply T and here you give simply O. No problem. So no need to think about solution. That means one solution I gave here when spelling become equal. One solution I gave it here when spelling is equal. So both solution is in front of you. It depends upon you which one. No suggestion from my side. Anything you can take. Rather I will suggest go for little different spelling so that no conflict, no resolution. But that is not a big deal here to discuss. Here point to be discussed is I sent 7 parameter from here. 1 will be consumed, 6 will be passed, 3 will be consumed, further 3 will be passed. But you have to maintain the sequence here also. Now understand with what sequence you are passing these 7 values. This is the sequence. If you feel little confusion, then you take that copy and paste it here once. Later on you delete it. Okay, so first is tax, guys. So should I pass tax is 9%. Then is I think tax amount directly we are displaying, so I will send 90. Then quantity, I will say 10 piece I purchased. Price is 100 rupees. Address, I will say within double code, A is the address. Income, I will pass 99999. Total tax of the company, I will pass 999. Organization name, I will pass ABC Limited. Makes sense? That means 7 things I passed from here. All 7 to 7 will come here. 1 will be consumed, 6 will be passed, and so on. So let me put a breakpoint here. Should I delete this line now? Line number 9, because that was only for my reference, so that I will not miss the sequence of the passing value. So run it. Today I will stop the class at 7:30. I mean up to 1 minute, guys. I have a conflict in the meeting. So let me execute it. F11. So you can see it came to extremely child class constructor. this is same sequence, it copy it, and now again I will press F11. It came here, that means it copied second class required things, but not yet assigned. It will assign in the top to bottom approach. So F11 again, it came here, that means income also came, T also came, O also came. Then F10 means it started initializing all the data, and finally it came to this. Then no problem, already we have got all the data. So just like hard-coded data we are able to display, this time we are able to display assigned data also from main. So overall idea is constructor chaining means bottom to top. When constructor is getting executed, bottom to top, guys, remember, not top to bottom. Initialization top to bottom, calling bottom to top. So bottom to top, when it is calling, it will go on initializing the data whatever required, and then it will come from top to bottom by initializing. So first calling C, B and A, then initializing A, B and C, and this is the way to pass the data. So since one constructor is helping to consume all the data and it is then passing to up and up and up, so it is called chaining. Constructor chaining is the meaning of that. If you have any question mark, next class I will clarify. So I have to stop it now here, guys. So check it when is our next class in the schedule, and if you have any questions, remind me. I will clarify your questions next class at the beginning. Alright, bye guys.